We have said that the father establishes moral authority. A father confers identity, and a father provides emotional security. Fourthly, we want to say, a father affirms potential. I don't know why, but even when children have a better relationship with their mother, they would often say when they are small and do their little cartwheels and things, they would often say, "Look, Daddy, look. Look, Daddy, look." Is as if the children calls forth the affirmation that they need from the father. And it shows us that the affirmation of the father is just much more lasting and deep than the affirmation of a mother throughout life. And therefore the father has this responsibility. There are certain seasons in which you have to affirm certain things. The intellectual development season, the first 6 years, you have to say to the child often, "Oh, you are so clever, you are so good, oh, you are intelligent," and all of those things. 6, 7, and 8 years old, "Oh, you are good with this. This is your uniqueness. This is what makes you so different to other children." Affirmation. Then obviously when the body starts to grow, "Oh, you are beautiful. Oh man, you are the princess." If it's a boy, "Oh, you are this strong Hercules," or whatever you want to call him, to encourage his physique to be developed. When you are in the teenage phase, "I can see your friends love you." You know, affirmation is so important. Affirmation is a much better educator than correction. And I wish that parents would know that, and specifically fathers. Therefore, before you say no to your child, you have to say to him at least 3 times, "Yes, yes, yes, good, good, good," before you can even correct him or have the permission to correct him on anything. Affirmation. Affirmation in the seasons. Affirmation for gender orientation. Very, very important. Affirmation related to his gifts and skills because they have different temperaments. Affirmation will give that secure environment for your child, that one day he would not say to you, "I'm insecure because I don't know what my strengths are." No, the child would say, "My father told me this is who I am, and I am sure this is my uniqueness." I will never forget this. I was doing leadership training, and a 21-year-old Zimbabwean man came to me after the training, and he said to me, "Sir, can you help me?" I was the most confident little man when I was 13 years old, leader at the school, and then suddenly it all disappeared. Somewhere in my high school years, it all disappeared, and now I have no confidence and no impact on people. So I said to him, "Can you remember the day that it actually disappeared out of your life?" And he said, "I'm not 100% sure, but I was about 16 years old." And I asked him for more information. And then the truth came out. He said, "My father died when I was 16 years old. And every day when I would come from school before my father died, just the confidence with which he looked at me, I knew he believed in me, gave me confidence to be a leader at school. And then suddenly I came home, and that affirmation was not there. And I was lost. And I'm lost until today." I said to this young man, "You are looking for a father, aren't you?" And the tears started to roll across his cheeks. He said, "Yes, sir. I need this more than anything else." So I said to him, "Can I be your father for just 1 minute?" He said to me, "I love it, sir." I embraced him. I hugged him. I held him close like a father should hold his son. And in his ears, I said to him, "I trust you. You've got what it takes. God has created you with immense potential. Step into your destined purposes." He shook, crying out this long need and desire and longing for the embrace of his father. But when he released me, he looked into my eyes and he said, "Thank you, sir. I will continue where I stopped before my father died, because from this moment onwards, I will believe what God created me to be." We have to launch our children into God's destined purposes for them. We honestly believe that a good way to do this is the rite of passage. Whether you have this in your culture or not, I don't have this in my culture, but I established this for my son. 13 years old, he needs to have, and maybe for girls 12 years old, the rite of passage into the group adventure phase. There are different things you can do there. Same things that you do later on, but with a different emphasis. I want to finish by telling you what I did for my son when he was 21 years old. Shortly before that, I asked him, George, what do you want to become one day in life? And he said to me, I want to become a warrior, taking risks, be confident, following Jesus. Immediately, I knew what I would give him for his 21st birthday. I went to the shops and I bought a sword from the 17th century, used in wars and battle in the 17th century. I kept it there, and for his birthday, I arranged a very prestigious place, long table, and I had men sitting around this table, one between 10 and 20, 20, 30, 30, 40, each decade of life up to 80 years old, and me and my wife. And then he came in, and he sat down, and we said, we want to welcome you today into manhood, and therefore listen to these men, and they will teach you what is important in life, in each decade of your life, and you will be the right man, my son. They gave them the messages. Then we called forth his greatest qualities. We prayed a blessing on him. I had a big cross. We had him kneel at the cross. We anointed him with oil. We laid hands on him and we prayed for him. And as he was kneeling in front of the cross, I drew the sword and I knighted him into manhood. And as my son stood up, I hugged him and held him. And here close to me and close to his ears, I said, you are now a man, my son. I will never talk to you like a man talks to a boy. I will talk to you like a man to a man. Welcome into manhood. And I released him. And lo and behold, that confidence with which he walked was evident. Next day, his friend, best friend, came to him, couldn't attend the occasion, came to him, and my son mounted the sword on the wall. And the friend asked him, what was this? He told him the story, and he burst out in tears, and he said, I wish my dad could release me by the rite of passage into manhood. I must hear from my dad, I've got what it takes. Welcome into manhood, my son. We've done this with our daughter. We've done this with Abongile Kwaza. I will never forget that day. And still up to today, it was one of the best moments when we embraced and released. And she walked out, an adult woman, taking up the responsibility for life. You have to serve your children by affirming them and launch them into life. May God bless you and bless them through you with us.